Whenever we talk about AI, it's so easy to get completely lost in the weeds. The code, the algorithms, the models. But the real revolution, the thing that's actually changing our lives, isn't just happening on a server somewhere. It's creating brand new economic forces and, honestly, new social realities that are reshaping our world as we speak. Okay, let's get into it.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the core tech that's making all this happen, AI agents. Then we're going to follow the money in what is, for sure, a new AI gold rush. After that, we'll dig into how human beliefs are literally being coded into the technology. Then we'll see how that's creating a new kind of digital divide. And finally, we'll ask the big question: how in the world do we govern this powerful new future?
All right, let's start at the very beginning. The big leap forward we're seeing in AI right now isn't just about getting better answers to our questions. No, it's about AI systems that can actually do things on our behalf.
And that's where this term Agentic AI comes in. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Old school AI was kind of like a calculator. You had to punch in every single instruction, step by step. Agentic AI, that's more like a project manager. You just give it a high-level goal, like plan my team's offsite, and it figures out all the smaller steps to actually get there. These things are designed to reason, plan, and execute all on their own.
So how do these agents actually plug into the real world? For an AI to be useful, it needs to talk to our stuff, our databases, our emails, our calendars. That's where new standards like the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, come into play. Just think of MCP as like a universal power adapter. It lets any AI agent plug into any tool no matter who made it. It creates a common language so it can actually get work done. This is the essential plumbing that makes Agentic AI a real thing in the real world. But of course, building this kind of technology, it's not cheap. Not by a long shot. It takes massive amounts of capital. So the question is, who's funding this revolution and where's all that money actually going?
Well, the scale it's almost hard to wrap your head around. By 2034, the global AI market is projected to be worth $3.7 trillion. Yeah, that's trillion with a T. This isn't some niche tech market. This is a fundamental economic shift for the entire planet.
And the investments absolutely reflect that scale. We're seeing figures in the tens of billions of dollars for single funding rounds. This isn't just venture capital anymore. We're talking nation-state levels of investment being poured into these foundational models.
And it is not an isolated event. We're seeing it absolutely everywhere. You've got tech giants like Meta spending billions on their AI infrastructure. And then companies like Scale AI, the ones who help build the data pipelines for these models, they're commanding these huge multi-billion-dollar valuations. The gold rush is in full swing, and the biggest players are placing some enormous bets.
So where does all that money go? Well, a huge piece of the pie goes straight to talent. This table with the average salaries for AI engineers, it tells a fascinating story. First, just look at the high value being placed on these skills. And second, you can see a really clear geographic disparity. A lead AI engineer in North America can make way more than their counterpart in South America, and that's shaping a global talent market with some very specific hotspots. This quote from John Mock, it just nails the core investment strategy perfectly. While everyone is racing to build the next killer AI app, the really smart money is also on the infrastructure, right? The data centers, the cloud platforms, the essential shovels that every single person prospecting for AI gold needs to function. Okay, so we've got the tech, we've got the money, but here's the thing, neither of them are neutral. They are being directed and shaped by human beings with their own beliefs, their own values, and their own ideologies.
To really get this, let's look at how we talk to an AI. When you type in a question, that's what we call a user prompt. It's the what. It's a specific task for that one moment. But behind the scenes, there's something else, a system prompt, written by the developers. Think of this as the AI's permanent job description, its constitution. It defines the how and the why for every single interaction it will ever have. And this is the part that is so crucial. That system prompt is written by people. It embeds the values, the biases, and even the political worldviews of the developers and their bosses directly into the AI's core logic. So this technology is not a blank slate. It has a point of view that's baked in from the very beginning before you ever type a single word.
This quote from IDC Research really drives the point home. We can't think of AI as a coworker or some kind of peer. It's an instrument, a ridiculously powerful one for sure, but its impact is a direct result of the human judgments that go into how it's designed, how it's deployed, and how it's governed.
So what happens when you take this ideologically shaped, massively funded technology and you unleash it on society? Well, we're starting to see a new kind of inequality emerge, a deep divide in the actual quality of our digital lives. You know, for years, the digital divide just meant whether you had internet access or not. Today, the new divide is about the kind of internet you get. On one side, you have the digital elites. They can afford to pay for high-quality, ad-free, fact-checked information. And on the other, you have the digital commoners, whose online world is basically a second-tier internet flooded with cheap, algorithmically generated content that might not even be true. This second-tier internet is being powered by what some people have started calling the slop economy. It's this huge global gray market of AI-powered content farms that just churn out low-quality, often nonsensical articles, videos, and search results. The goal isn't to be accurate. The goal is just volume and clicks at the lowest possible cost. And in the process, it pollutes our entire information ecosystem.
And if you're wondering how big this problem is, well, brace yourself. Some estimates suggest that as much as 40% of the content we now see online is synthetic slurry, just churned out by AI. It's basically digital junk food, and for billions of people, it's becoming a primary source of information.
Okay, this brings us to the most important question of all. What do we do about it? Because the future we've been describing, it's not a done deal. It's the result of choices we're making right now, which means we can also choose to govern it differently.
And there are real, concrete ideas on the table. Experts are proposing things like agentic command centers inside companies. Think of it like mission control for their AI systems. They're calling for independent audits of AI models to make sure they're safe and compliant. There's this idea of accountability in the loop, to build governance into the design process from the start, not as an afterthought. And there are even calls to use economic pressure, pushing ad networks to just stop funding the slop economy.
But you know, at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to fight the bad stuff. The guiding principle for a healthier digital world has to be about elevating substance. It's about designing our systems to make reliable, high-quality information so common and so easy to find that everybody runs into it, even if they're not looking for it. That's how you create a shared foundation of fact.
Because that's really what this all comes down to, right? The future of AI isn't some technological destiny that we just have to accept. It is a series of design choices that we are all making every single day. So the question we're left with is pretty simple. What kind of future are we going to choose to build?